titillate the juices. You know what? Woo! Right now. Woo! Woo!
Dr. Hughes invites followers. Oh, let's see if they increase now. Me too. Yeah, wow. Dr. Hughes.
Mock-ass mock.
He's a great podcaster.
Trick-ass mock.
Acknowledge me. We coming for you, nigga. Fat!
Yeah, Dr. Hughes, here we go. Keep plugging yourself, that's cool.
First up, a man whose looks will serve your inner needs and desires.
Dr. Hughes.
Oh, yeah. Back once again. Took the night off last night. I know it's a Monday night, one of the hottest nights in all of professional wrestling, but I'm not getting burnt out anymore. I'm never going to do that again. So if I just don't want to come on, I'm not coming on. That's how this works now. Right? Shout out to you, Danny. You all know Danny Damage by now. And
oh, good evening. Oh, I'll be careful with waving. How do you wave without being accused of doing gestures and stuff?
Don't worry, we're going to debate this.
I'll just do a little wave here. Hello.
Mm-hmm. I already know what your take is on this, but we're going to debate this in just a little bit. Was that a wave? Was he sending his heart out? Oh, we'll figure it all out for everybody. Everybody will know it. We'll squash it after this. It will all be squashed. Get liking and subscribing and sharing. Everybody out here in the Hugenverse. We're running wild. We're going crazy. We're taking over the entire podcast game, the fucking streaming game, the dog barking game, all of it. Because that's what's happening now. Everybody, all the dogs are barking. All my neighbors are getting crazy. Because they know it's time. 7 p.m. East Coast time. We're talking wrestling. We're talking whatever I want to talk about. Sometimes people come into the show, Danny, and they go, hey, I thought this was a wrestling show. And I go, shut up, get out of here, then, if you don't like it. I'm busy doing whatever I want to do. Because I don't know if you've noticed the name of this show. It's named after me. It's not named after Sasha Reigns, as much as I love Sasha Reigns, right? She missed us last night. She needs her fix of DrHUGEshow. I don't blame you. We're back tonight, though, and we're firing on all cylinders. We got this Trump business to talk about, of course. He just got inaugurated. Some people way too happy. Some people way too sad. And, I'm always falling in the middle of all this stuff. I don't, you know me, I don't really care for anybody except for Seth Rollins. He's pretty good, right? But Seth Rollins isn't in politics. This Elon Musk, though, is. And I don't know if you've noticed or here's some stills, him playing basketball. Have you seen this one? Oh, he's going to block the IRS.
That's good.
Maybe it was a block. Here's him totally whiffing. Nice try. Nice closeout on Ray Allen there. But then, of course, Ray Allen gets LeBron another fake championship with an asterisk on it because saved by another man, just like every time he wins a championship. More on that later. But I even have video, folks. Video evidence. Okay? You tell me. What am I seeing here? I'm sort of a history buff. I kind of know some things, right? Philly Sports Pride. Maybe you know. Maybe Reezy knows. Yep. The homies are all in the house. Like, share, subscribe. Send this to everybody on the internet. I'm about to show you one of, in my opinion, the funniest things of 2025 so far. I mean, did you like this before we even play the video? What did you think about this performance here by Elon? The whole thing, because I'm sure you watched it in context, like everybody should.
Yeah, he does well for how socially awkward he is, because he is very socially awkward. And yeah, you can just see it in his body language, everything he does, and he just gets himself into trouble. Or it's very easy for people to shine a light on him and say he's doing things that he isn't. And it's funny how one side of the political aisle like to say they champion looking out for people's individuality and like the little quirks they have, but then when it's someone they disagree with who has these personality quirks, it's just like, oh yeah, let's just take the piss and just say he's like Nazi saluting when he's not.
Oh, he's not. I don't know. Maybe he isn't. Listen, I'm keeping the door open. You know me. I don't trust anybody. I grew up with Stone Cold Steve Austin as the father figure in my house, you see? And he always said through the TV, Dr. Huge, don't trust anybody. And I don't.
I was big into X-Files as well. X-Files had Trust No One and Stone Cold's DTA, so double the effect on me. But yeah, no, I don't think that's what he was doing. I don't think that was his intention.
If not, right, if to me, all right, I'll give you my take on it. I get that. What you're saying is the general take by everybody at this point. You know, what seems to be the most reasonable, because, you know, it's the most reasonable take on the surface, right? But I'm telling you, I think the whole world is a stage. I think there's very little that is unplanned, unless, here, I'm just going to go forward in this video just a smidge. I looked at this nose. That nose looks awfully red. Maybe it's cold. Maybe he's got a cold, right? Maybe he's blowing his nose. But all the super rich people I've ever known, you know what some of them like to do? A vast majority of them like to do? They like to sniff things. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that could be part of it, because he came out looking, you know, he was fucking looking crazy when he first came out. And I get it. Yeah, he's awkward and, you know, eccentric and all this. But do you really think the richest man in the world isn't calculated? I mean, that's a direct question to you, not even the audience. I'm asking you, Danny. Is he not calculated as the richest person ever?
Yeah, but I don't think he's... I get what you're saying, and if he was the only one behaving like this, it'd be cause for like concern, and we'd definitely have to be like prodding him a lot harder. But when we're playing like lesser of several evils, and you look at the other tech giants, it's like, meh. It's better that he's the one doing all this, and even if he doesn't intend on doing so, he's balancing things out a little bit. And if that's his business, and he's seen a market for that, he's seen a hole in the market for some balance, then that's what he's doing. He's been pretty straight up about it for the most part. But there are people still getting banned on Twitter, and yeah. So it's not perfect. I'm not saying it is perfect. But look at all the big companies that have come back to Twitter now after they left when he first bought it, and they're all saying, "Oh, it's going to be dead in however long. He's going to ruin that company." And now, like Disney and other big wigs like that have come crawling back, and they want to advertise on his platform. When Biden announced that he was stepping down and letting Kamala take over, he did it on Twitter. That was who broke the news. So some people have faith in it.
It's true. Listen, I wish I could be like a believer that he wasn't into like some dark occultic shit, and you know, all that. Like, I feel like I've gone too far, right? You know, they always warn everybody, don't stop looking into stuff. You're gonna go too far. I've been far for a long time. So don't look for any answers here. It gets more confusing the more you know. But I really believe, I can't believe that everything can be this perfect as far as like entertainment wise. Like, this just feels like I said, the world's a stage. This just feels like it's a message. It feels like a message to me, because it's too on the nose the day of the, you know, all of this happening. Like, it is just unbelievable. And if it is a goof, like if he just goofed up, like, whoops, I have all this money, I have all this power and all this control, and I just happen to do it. I mean, when you put these, like, I've seen all the pictures, right? And all the, I wouldn't call it backlash, like the retort to this, which is, of course he's not. Look at all these people with all the pictures with their hands in the air. These are politicians on a stage, generally above the audience. They're gonna, you know, they're waving at people in arenas, and, you know, all over the place. So of course the stills are gonna look like that. But you're generally not gonna get a slap on the chest and then one of those. That's what that is, right? So did I not see him do that, or are my eyes lying to me? Basically, was that not? If you asked somebody to do that type of salute, is that not it? And then he did it twice. Then he turned around and did it again. So, like I said, if he was goofing around and he's not playing some 4D level chess games and fucking with people and things, that's insane to me. That's kind of like, I feel like almost that's almost the more naive take. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do get that, but it's just there's photographs of loads of other politicians and actors or whoever was like also with their arm in the air like
not
that. Yeah.
videos of the slapping. Like I said, video and photographs are totally different. So
But
you can
that's
throw
how
all
they-
the photographs out because I'm sure I've got a stills out there with my arms straight like that at a basketball game or a football game or something. Anybody, but to do the slap and let's look at it. Let's roll the tape. Are my eyes lying to me here? I'm just saying. It's just it's crazy. Let's just let him go. We'll let him go for a second because I mean I'm just I woke up in the middle of the night last night and I rolled over and I'm looking at my phone, which you're not supposed to do, especially kids. Do not roll over and try to look at your phone in the middle of the night. It's just gonna mess with you. And, I start looking at this again, and I'm like, what's the word? I was delirious, and I just started laughing because I'm watching this over and over. And I'm like, I can't believe this is 2025 so far. Like, it's just so insane. Everything down to even the littles. Like, this should be a little silly nothing, right? And it is at the end of the day, and it will be forgotten tomorrow. But for this week, for today, I thought that was the funniest shit to me last night, man. It was great.
It's so awkward. It's just I don't. These people that are just criticizing him for it. It's like, have you not seen any of his bloody interviews before that aren't just like, here's 20 seconds of a statement?
He definitely has an out,
Yeah, he's not a great speaker, to be fair. When he's clipped, it's fine because he can get his point across. But with the long form conversations, there's a lot of stalling, a lot of delays.
The sleaze in the house. Reezy in the house.
Reezy.
Of course, we seen Sasha Reigns in the house getting shouted out by none other than the sleaze. Look, that means you're super uber famous, Sasha Reigns. If you're on the sleaze's radar, he doesn't even know who Drake is. I bet. He gets that joke. I'm sure he's laughing like Seth Rollins at home, or at work, or in a whorehouse. Most likely, that's where I'm going to say he is right now. He's at a whorehouse. He says. Who's Drake? Didn't you hear? He's the greatest rapper in the world. A kid that used to be on Nickelodeon is now the great. Here's the topic for you. Before we got a whole lot of wrestling stuff to cover. And, it will be there. It will always be there. But these conversations, these are the best. And I want to know why. Like I was thinking about early today, the younger generation, right? The stuff, the culture that they're into, whether it be the cartoons or the music, the whole thing, the arts, all that stuff. It's like not only is it dumbed down, but it's like our generation, the old days, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, whole 2000s, really, would goof on you for all this stuff that's going on right now. But it's almost like it's below nerd. I don't know how to put it. It's just not. It's a lot of cool things that you couldn't get away with back in the day, like being the top rapper in the world, like Drake is, yet being the kid in the wheelchair, I think, on Nickelodeon back in the that would never happen. I don't know if you have a take on this, but you must have these symptoms. I know you got pop stars and things over in the UK too. Like what?
I agree. It does feel like it's getting stupider. Stuff's just getting dumber and dumber. But our previous generations felt the same way about us, and everything that exists up until like our age of 30, that's how like the world, in our eyes, the world is set and it should be. And then anything that comes after that, it's like, oh, that's a bit new. I can't remember the exact phrase, but it's from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, in the book, that has a really good sort of like statement about how you sort of like get set in your ways by the age of 30. And I do agree things are getting a bit daft and a bit short-sighted, especially with like shorts, TikTok, and everything's got to be like 30 seconds.
That's the worst.
People's attention span, but there is still a market for long form stuff. Look at Joe Rogan, 3 hours long on average for each of his podcasts, and is one of the most popular. So it's not like everyone's just looking for a quick 30-second clip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Here, I'm going to try to win some more fans with this next hot take. Didn't Joe Rogan get surpassed by a lady podcast?
Oh, I don't know.
I think I saw that somebody. I know he did get surpassed, at least for a little bit, with another podcast. And I'm telling you, if it's a lady host, I don't know how you're doing it. You must have the sweetest voice ever, because any lady podcast I've ever seen on YouTube, we got to keep it 100% over here. They fucking stink. You know what I mean? Their voices grating. I'm talking just a majority, not all, of course. If she's enough people are listening to it, can't be that bad. Oh, wow. Have you ever heard of some of these lady podcasts out here? They're brutal, especially when they like to invite people. So there'll be like 10 people on the screen, all talking at the same time. It is wild. Stinks.
I can imagine the noise. No, yeah, 10's way too many. It's just confusing, chaotic.
10. I can bring in 8 other people right now. Look at me doing math. It's quick. Anyway, hey, everybody, go buy my album. Let me do some plugs real quick before the real wrestling hot takes come in, because I know you're going to wait patiently through this to then do that. But in the meantime, definitely go pick this up all over the world. What else? Oh, there's Elon Musk blocking, or trying to block Ray Allen. It was a good closeout by Elon there, in a suit and those slippery shoes he's wearing on the court, his business loafers. And what else do I need to show? That's it. That's all I'm going to show. But read the scroll underneath, do all of what it says, follow me everywhere, subscribe everywhere, show this to people, because we need the viewers, baby. That's what we're here for. I can't feed my kids unless I get likes, viewers, and subscribers. That's what I was told by my group of lawyers. So don't let my kids starve. We need likes, especially likes. That's all they ever want to eat. Okay.
Yep, he's got kids. Help him out.
Yeah, thank you. And here's something I'm coming up with. I'm going to conjure this up right now. I want this to happen. Let's do it. Let's have a little ritualistic Goldberg chant music. All right. Goldberg is going to get into the Royal Rumble. He's going to win it. Then he's going to go on, take on Gunther for the championship belt. And he's going to win it and squash Gunther in under 1 minute.
I hope you're wrong. I really hope you're wrong. But it's WWE and it's Goldberg, and we've seen similar before. So who knows? I hope it doesn't happen, but
it would never happen. If Vince was around, that could have happened. I'm telling you, I know Vince would probably try something like that and then let John Cena beat him for it, so it doesn't like hurt anybody else. That would actually make sense. And the thing is, I'm thinking about this stuff and I'm like, well, it would be horrible and everybody would hate it. But a lot of people out here, that's a Vince thing. I'm kind of like Vince in that way, where I get what he's doing. He's trolling the audience. This is a never-ending story. So really, it's not the end. Like the good guy or whoever you want can always win it another day. But when he used to get people like crazy online, it would be this kind of shit. And I just know if Bill Goldberg ever won the Royal Rumble, people would lose their mind, and then they'd just be like WWE, WWE. Everybody would be out here talking about that because bad publicity is good publicity too. And then leading up, and then imagine he squashes your favorite, or everybody, you know, Gunther's pretty much the best in the business at this point, whether you believe it or not or anything. As far as just like, he's the type of wrestler you could bring back 20 years, 40 years, 60 years, it really wouldn't matter. Like, he'd be still one of the top guys. So that would be wild, is all I'm saying. I think that would drum up a lot of unnecessary outrage and, you know, business.
Yeah. If they want to bring Goldberg back and let Gunther look good, I'm all for that, as long as Goldberg doesn't start dropping people on the heads.
Yeah.
But for him to just come back and just make Gunther look crap, no, not into that.
Only Kevin Owens. That's only going to happen to you, KO.
I didn't even like it when they did it with KO. I felt really bad for Owens and Jericho, and that's me sympathizing with Jericho because they had a really good story that year. Their friendship and like the explosion of it was just really good, and then Goldberg just turns up last minute, or what seemed to be last minute, changes everything. Their story doesn't get the big payoff. It ends up being for the US title, I think it was, instead. And then Jericho left for quote-unquote greener pastures, which I encouraged and supported at the time, because it's like, yeah, man, they fucked you over. I don't blame you. Go somewhere else. But yeah, I didn't think Goldberg would squash The Fiend, because they were trying to push The Fiend. So it's like, what would make The Fiend look really good? If he could beat the unstoppable Goldberg. But no. Who's the other one?
How about this? What do you think if Bret Hart comes out and gets involved? And he can like screw it up for Goldberg. Hey, that's what I would do at WrestleMania. If you're going to do this Goldberg Gunther deal, you have them fight at WrestleMania, of course. Then you have Bret Hart come out and
cattle prod
one of his legs, or
cattle prod. That's
prod. There you go.
Yeah, the circle of life. Get the cattle prod going.
Yep, a super kick him right in the head. Get your receipt, Bret Hart, at this year's WrestleMania.
I don't think Bret's. That's the only problem. I don't think Bret could come in and do anything remotely physical in the ring anymore. Even if it was just one, I think he's a little bit beyond that now, sadly.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he can hit him in the head with a baseball bat then.
Oh yeah, maybe he can swing something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Goldberg's still a pretty big, intimidating unit of a man, so I don't. Yeah, if he just came running at you, you'd want to get out of the way, even if he hurt himself.
Look at this. Sasha Reigns says Mick Foley is rumored to be in the Rumble. Wow.
What?
Wow. Hey, never say never.
Yeah. I suppose, it's not Christmas time anymore. Well, he's got his Christmas room. Just leave him in his Christmas room. We don't need to see any more Mick Foley. I'm sorry.
You know what? You know me again. It's like the beginning of the show. I barely talk politics, and if I do, it's not like I have a side I pick. But Mick Foley, his politics, they stink.
It's the shits.
His politics stink. So that's all I have to say about that. So if you got the same politics as him, sorry. I guess yours stinks too. But so doesn't a bunch of other people on all sides. That's my hot take on all this. But when I think of Mick Foley these days, and it's too bad, just because over the years, all this, everything we've been dealing with the past 5 years over here, it's been pretty much mask off if you pay attention. And I know I've been paying attention longer, and maybe I'm seeing more things or phantoms, right? I don't know. I've been right about a lot lately, and I'm saying, if I've been right a lot, that must mean Mick's been wrong a lot. And it's not against Mick. I met him as well back in the day. Great friend of the show, of course. But just like Jim Cornette and all like some of these guys, Stuttering John out here, like they're just kind of wacky. You can tell they're not like really paying attention to what's happening out in the world.
Yeah, very isolated. Yeah, people make a lot of comments about Glenn Jacobs / Kane about taking headshots, and it's like, oh, look at you, no wonder you're making stupid decisions like this. Look at all the headshots you've taken. And then it's like, ladies and gentlemen, Mick Foley, he's taken like 70,000 more headshots than I think anybody in his career. And so it's not always the case. You can't just sort of like say, oh yeah, ex-wrestler, mushbrain. That's it. They're going to talk shit because, like you say, it's people from every part of the political aisle.
Which brings me to the CM Punk. Did you see a lot of these promos? I haven't been seeing. I know I didn't pay attention too much last night, so maybe they did play him. But there was a Karrion Kross promo, CM Punk, basically the old school live promo in the arena with the people. I
saw the Punk one, yeah.
I watched that. I just looked it up online, but he talks about Hulk Hogan, the brother dude.
Yeah,
and he says he's going to throw his dusty ass over the ring. What, brother?
Cheap pop. I've been very supportive of CM Punk in WWE, even though I disagree with a lot of stuff he says personally and politically. In the ring and on the mic, he's normally great, but yeah, the mention of Hogan was just cheap as fuck, and just thumbs down from me.
Well, it's fine. It's a layup. It's just like it was a layup for Punk. So of course he was going to take the shot if he could, and Royal Rumble and the whole deal. It would make sense to even mention him. Otherwise, it wouldn't. But he's just basically saying, and if Hulk Hogan, because he's the complete like antithesis of Hulk Hogan. He's on one end of the spectrum, and Hulk Hogan's on the other. And this is what I'm saying to everybody about how this is all foolishness. Like, I know many people aren't looking at CM Punk on the opposite end of the spectrum. They don't see it, right? Well, especially the younger generation. They can see the Hulk stuff. I mean, he's at the rallies. He's like involved, right? It's very obvious. And even before that, with the N-bombs and the banging Bubba's wife and the kid, and we go on and on and on. CM Punk, you make it be like, well, he's a nice human being and blah blah blah. I'm sure there's a lot of other people that would disagree. Not everybody's perfect everywhere. I'm just saying, I think from what I've seen of the CM Punk, that he's full blast on the other end. So take from that what you will. But that's
the Hogan stuff. I just thought it was just real fast, and attractive woman with microphone number 1. I've forgotten what her bloody name is. She's just there pulling stupid like ooh faces, like reactionary tart. I'm sorry, but no, it was just really it was lame. It was cheap mentioning Hogan because he knew people were already going to boo him. And then when he's just got like not random bird, but mouthpiece bird stood next to him pulling faces and trying to pretend to look shocked. And it's too much CM Punk for me at the minute, I think.
Can't wait for Saturday, though. You think he won't get booed in Texas, will he? With the brothers?
We'll see. It depends who he's in the ring with.
Do you think at Saturday night main event that what's going on here? Oh shit. What's going on? I'm on a different page and still not showing me it. Hold on. Oh, because it's gone. Damn it. I was gonna show Elon again. It's gonna be a stadium. Here, I'll paint the picture for everybody. The whole arena is gonna do exactly what Elon Musk did in at the inauguration, whatever that was the other day, when Hulk Hogan comes out, because he's HH, brother. Get it, dude? You see what I'm saying? See how I do this?
Oh, yeah, very good. I don't know if he's going to get booed or not. They'll probably be gentler with him in Texas, but
yeah,
there's still going to be some people that want to give him grief, especially now CM Punk's just like rattled the cage and mentioned it again. So.
Damn you, CM Punk. I see what you're doing out here. You're gonna he says he's gonna end Hulkamania forever. He's gonna kill it. Wow. He's got a beer out. He's trying to sell beer right now, and you're gonna kill it. Damn. You know what? You should apologize, CM Punk, and I want you to do this. Get another tattoo of Hulk Hogan's All-American Beer Brother on your other arm. You know, like whatever logo that is, because I don't even know if there's a logo. Sure, there is one. And put it on your other arm for Hulk Hogan, bro. And then all will be right. We'll let this go. All the Hulkamaniacs that you just disrespected by saying you're gonna like kill all of us, essentially. Stinks. Yep. Corey Graves situation. It's still going on. I know we touched on this some, but it's coming around that it's really about Wade Barrett, supposedly. A lot of people have been saying this. I don't believe it, of course. When in his own words, you know, I'm not famous enough for my own job. That's Pat McAfee, bro.
Oh, the other fella that wasn't in wrestling before. Sorry, I've forgotten his name. But
yes, yeah.
Because he was like a pre-existing name, so it's like that's a famous person in the sporting realm, and then obviously Pat McAfee is a famous person. So yeah, you'd think it was at least one of those two, but yeah, that's surprising that if it's about Wade Barrett.
McAfee, I so want him to like blow an ACL like on that announce table. Just imagine him yeeting one night, everybody, you know, elimination chamber or something. They give him all the best stuff. He'll be at WrestleMania, and then he just jumps on the table like a little off and slides off. Maybe there's some baby oil left over from his Diddy parties or however he's getting into the business, and he just like slips and pops that Achilles, you know, a hamstring. I mean, the wrestlers get to do it all the time. Why can't he have one of those? You know, he's out there doing the yeets. That's what I do now. You're not allowed to do it anymore. You're out there, you know, dancing to the Shinsuke Nakamura music. Yep. I hope you tear a groin. Do a full fucking split right on the announce table by accident, and then just that groin just goes flying into the front row with that guy that always holds that, you know, flag that I still don't know where he's from. How about that? Keep going to every show showing that you're from a country I've never seen in my life. You know, you're so cool. Oh, it's red and black, I think. I don't know. Looks pretty similar to something I've seen recently. Maybe a flag that should be behind this guy blocking shots over here. Close. It was close to it. You know who I'm talking about. I know Worked Moto knows. That guy's always in the front row everywhere. You know who I'm talking about, right, Danny?
I've seen someone with a flag, but I can't. It's not popping into my mind what the flag is now.
Yeah, maybe he retired. I haven't really seen him around lately, but he's always pulling out the little red flag. He's like a super fan of the WWE or something, you know.
I try and filter them out, to be honest. When you see the same people there all the time, and it's honestly not envy, but it's just like, what do you do that you can just travel around and be stood on the front row like for this amount of time non-stop?
Yeah,
give someone else a go.
Yeah, if I was Tony Khan, I wouldn't be having a wrestling promotion. I'd be doing that.
Yeah.
And that's probably what he should be doing too. How about you just take a little AEW flag and just go sit front row at every single WWE event all around the world? You know, that would be better promotion for it and better business decision. You probably save more money doing that. A lot more money. Yep. So Corey Graves, you know, these people with these flags and stuff in the front row that follow him everywhere like they're the Grateful Dead, that's family. That's his family, okay? And WWE, you're going to take that away from Corey Graves? Well, maybe not, because news is breaking news, Sasha Reigns. I beat you to it.
This is breaking news.
Breaking news. Corey Graves is going to be at NXT tonight. Possibly, maybe, my sources say. How about that, folks? See?
Not in the Royal Rumble?
He should be in it. They should just make it all look like a work, even if it wasn't. And have him in the Royal Rumble, have him fight, like I said, McAfee. Can Wade Barrett just not go anymore? Is there something like wrong with him?
He was injured the last time. He did retire early because of an injury. But I don't know if it's something that's just like persisting now, or if it was just he started and stopped quite a few times, didn't he? Like they give him the IC belt a couple of times, and then like he got injured very quickly, And I think he just went, you know what? I'm healthy again now. I'm not going to get back in the ring. I'm just going to quit while I'm ahead and not need surgery.
Yeah, it's probably.
Which is a shame because I really liked him. I thought he was good. He was good in the ring and he was great on the mic.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if he got dumped on his neck like this guy. But don't worry, he's totally fine. He got pile driven right on his head. And then he just got up and he took a week off and he starts rubbing his neck for another week on TV. And now he's back to it. He'll see you at the Saturday Night Main Event or something, I'm sure, or pay-per-view coming soon. Because he is he's like the Bionic Man or something, this guy. Yep. Let's look at a picture of Corey Graves. Yep. Look at the old days, Corey. Remember that? Now you're in Orlando, Florida, probably for life. Listening to Booker T scream over you and shit. Have fun with that.
He does get excited, does Booker T. Very excited.
I like Booker T, though, especially as an announcer. He's like perfect. Perfect. And then he's got his own wrestling promotion. He's bringing him Roxanne Perez and all these other people. He's like killing it like as a post wrestler guy.
Yeah.
Like that's the way to do it. I mean, Seth Rollins right now is doing pretty well for him. So a lot of these people, they all have wrestling schools, which is funny. I mean, I guess they are pros. Why not? And what else we got here? So here's some just random news. And I thought this was funny. I've been talking about this for years. All these team ups. The WWE, TNA, the AEW, and New Japan. Well, New Japan looks like their promotions are going to all get together and create a super promotion called United Japan Pro Wrestling. And it's like, what took you so long? Now, because honestly, I haven't paid attention to any of it for years. All the Japan stuff, I know a lot of it can be cool and this and that. But there's like Noah and DDT and this and that. And I'm just like, I don't care. I got enough over here that I got to keep up with like 20 hours a week. You think I'm going to care about all these individual promotions in Japan? Like, get out of here. So maybe now that they're all New Japan's the biggest and they're just going to say, yep, you're all under the New Japan umbrella. That's what I would do. And hopefully that's what they're doing. But the name doesn't have New Japan in it at all. It's just United Japan. I mean, finally. What do you think about this?
No, if they need it, yeah. I'm not massively into the Japanese scene myself. We used to watch Wrestle Kingdom like yearly, but it's been a few years since we've sort of like upheld that tradition. So yeah, if they need that to compete, or if the business is starting to struggle, or they find they do have benefits from that, I don't see why they shouldn't do that. They just don't want to end up in the same sort of like situation as Tony Khan, though, where you've just got too many people on the roster. And if you combine in several companies, there is that risk. But I don't know what each of their companies look like roster-wise, so they could be smart with it and it'll work out. I think, is this like a reaction to what Tony's done by buying all of their talent then? Has he really left their talent pool empty?
Possibly. I mean, I think this is bad news for AEW, even though they work with New Japan. This is the TNA stuff in WWE is definitely bad news. I don't like any of this for what's going on here, Tony. I would definitely. You don't have to give up. Obviously, we know you got all the money in the world, but cut this thing more than in half. Scale down to like 20. Become TNA. And then just do you and try to build from there. We've said this ad nauseum recently, but it's just so obvious. The writing's on the wall, with everybody else doing these team ups. I'm not hearing AEW's name in a lot of these.
No, and they have done some collaborations already.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are losing faith.
These are like full-blown partnerships. Have they done partnerships with people?
AEW?
Yes.
Yeah, they did some TNA stuff. a little bit ago.
Yeah, I know they've had people in here
Um,
and there, but even the WWE did. But just recently, they're like, yeah, we're like partners now in business. Like they
Forbidden
made.
Door is Forbidden Door not considered
Oh yeah, that's true.
like
Yeah,
an
they. Yeah.
annual guaranteed partnership? But even then, it's just Tony's used that as his sort of like employment backdoor, where it's just like, yeah, we'll get everyone into the company temporarily, and then I'll just start offering them contracts with money they can't refuse. Well, not everybody, obviously, but the big stars, the
Mhm.
ones that Japan would miss, and AW should have capitalized and benefited from. But yeah, he uses Vince's old techniques to get them into the company, but then once he's got them, he doesn't have a bloody clue.
Yeah. Well, TNA's killing it right now. They got this Joe Hendry. He's the new
Yeah.
champ. You got what's her name? Oh my God, Tessa Blanchard. That they've all been booing lately. She's another Hulk Hogan brother out here. You know, they were chanting, "You are racist," or "She's a racist" during that championship match where she beat Grace. Yeah. Well, you don't like that? You no. You wouldn't
Well,
be
I just, I don't know. It's just, I don't. I just think I don't know if we got the full context. It's just one of those things. Did we get the full story, or was it just like with the Elon thing where they sent out a photograph of the still image of his arm, and then when you see the context, was she singing along with the song? Was she saying, "I heard someone else said this"? I don't know, to be honest. I'm not saying I understand the situation. So, but it's just the first match in, and then they're just shouting that. And wrestling fans do have a tendency to hijack events sometimes, and I'm concerned that might be what they did there, but it might not. I might be completely wrong, and she might just be absolute trash, and it might be deserved. I'm not sure.
No. You know, the best chant ever is "Twist of Fat" in TNA. That's all I know.
The best response to crowd behavior ever was Cesaro going into the crowd when they were playing with that fucking volleyball, that beach ball, and
That's
just
right.
popping it, just charging in there, grabbing it and popping it. That was one of the best things ever.
So now we're looking at Jordan Grace possibly showing up at the Royal Rumble, coming into WWE, which he should. Big Mama Pump. She's like looking. I'm telling you, I don't know. I like the middle version of Jordan Grace.
Like she looked more like Rhino, yeah.
I remember when she was she was pudgy at the beginning. She was a young pudgy girl. I remember, I know her whole career, expert analyst, journalist here. And then she got in really good shape and was super hot. And now she's gotten like too good of shape. And now it's not so hot. You understand what I'm saying, Danny?
I've not seen, I know what you say, but I've not seen the recent version. I saw when she popped into WWE a little bit ago, and I'd seen her originally in TNA when she was built like a female version of Rhino. She was.
Then you've only seen the new version, then the at least the new WWE stuff. Yeah, maybe you missed the Super Heart version. I don't know. This is just my take. Of course, this is all subjective, objective, whatever it is. I always get them confused. It's subjective. Let's just say that. We'll pick that 50-50, right? And maybe I'm right. But yeah, I mean, she's so ripped, it's like crazy. She looks like a badass wrestler though, and hopefully they give her a good spot in the. I see her as IC champ, literally within 4 months if she's coming in. But yeah, and my other last take with Miss Jordan Grace, who I think is wonderful and one of the great lady wrestlers of our time. But Tom Brady's got the same exact voice. I've been listening to Tom Brady do football games this season. And Tom Brady, you sound like Jordan Grace, bro. What's going on? You know, it's not Jordan Grace's fault. I think she's supposed to sound like that. I don't think you're supposed to sound like that. So maybe take some more testosterone or something. Yep. Get them shots, maybe got that low TB12. So, yep. Tessa booed and chanted at PCO, the Frankenstein out here. You know who that is, right?
No.
PCO, older gentleman, been in the wrestling game for many years. He was in TNA, literally a Frankenstein, like plays a Frankenstein kind of gimmick. And he is now been asked to take less money. That's come out to be a fact now. He was at GCW recently, and he took that TNA digital title that was given to him, and he smashed it into bits.
Oh,
with a
yeah, I saw
sledgehammer.
a video clip of that, but yeah, I didn't know who the person was. But
Yep.
yeah, I did see that clip. He hit it a couple of times. It just bounced off the chair and landed on the ground like intact. And I'm like, those belts are really well made.
Yep. So that happened. You know, that's happening out here. Then he took to Twitter and basically started trashing TNA, saying the new management, you know, they stink. They're the shits, and
It's the shits.
and he wants Scott D'Amore back, which seems to be what a lot of people want. And from what I've heard, my sources tell me Scott D'Amore really wanted a lot more money from whoever the investors are or whatever, and to like put this thing over the top, maybe sign a CM Punk coming out of AEW, or do something over the top just to get him, get Punk in there for like 4 months, you know, like a quarter or something. And they were just like, nah, you can't have it. And he's just like, fuck it, I'm out of here. So I don't know if it's true or not, but it definitely seems like it could be the case. So
I mean, he works hard for them, and from what I understand, a lot of their success at the time was because of his efforts. And it wouldn't be the first time that they've got a bigger star and done something with it. I know Christian isn't everybody's cup of tea, but I really enjoyed Christian's run in TNA. It did sort of like give them a bit more of a serious sort of like serious tone. The same goes for Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe. They had some really good matches. Maybe overdid it by the end of the feud, but they still got quite a lot of attention. So TNA have always just like been a couple of steps away from possibly doing something really great, but then something always just happens and it just falls through. But I'd be really happy if they got it right this time and they nudged AEW to like the 3rd or 4th in the rankings.
yeah, TNA is like the Jason Voorhees of professional wrestling. It's been around so long. I don't know how they're still going, but they just manage. They Dixie Carter and Jeff Jarrett at the beginning running it in like 2000, 2001. God, yeah. How do you stick around that long? I seen him in a hotel room years back in Rhode Island, of all places, smallest state in all of America. Just in a tiny hotel ballroom. Kurt Angle was there wrestling. He had, you know what I noticed about this guy? His shoulders was so friggin' wide that his compared to his waist, it was just like an upside down triangle. It looked crazy to me. I'm like, well, I mean, he's an Olympic wrestler. It's probably the look that you should have: super wide shoulders and slim waist, and then. I don't know. At that point, yeah, he was starting to get the arms and all that. So still, he's in my top 5 all-time wrestler. Kurt Angle's one of the GOATs.
Yep.
Then we got how about this for a guy that can show up at TNA, and rumors have it that this is probably happening.
John Cena recognized.
John Cena, you're all gonna recognize him, and imagine John Cena over there winning a title. If they don't give him the WWE title, he goes and wins a TNA title.
Yeah, because I mean, Ric Flair's 16 isn't WWE exclusive, is it? So,
I think it is, isn't it? Maybe not.
He didn't win the world title 16 times for WWE,
right.
surely.
Yeah.
Not back then.
Wow, yeah.
That'd be a lot of little runs. This is why I always said, before Cena did the whole apology and sort of like, yeah, I'm working for China now, I was all on board giving Cena, like, letting him break Ric Flair's reign. And I wasn't like a massive Cena fan. I was originally when he was amusing and still like a bit edgy, but then when he just got real stale and kiddie friendly, like everybody, we got bored. But like I say, he worked a lot. He worked really hard for the WWE specifically. Ric Flair worked for a lot of promotions, and he padded his pockets with whichever territory, whichever promotion would hire him. So yeah, his 16 world title reigns are across multiple companies. John Cena's are all in one company. So already in the WWE realm, his 16 is worth more than Ric Flair's 16.
Wow. That is a good take.
But in the WWE universe, if you're looking like if you step back and look at wrestling as a whole, then yeah, you could argue Ric Flair because he has belts from different companies. But if we're
Sorry.
if we're just talking who deserves to break that like reign in WWE as a WWE superstar, I would say probably John Cena.
Wow.
Or Orton, but they're going to probably do Cena first.
Mm-hmm. But I could see them. This is like a nice little compromise for everybody. John Cena breaks the record, but it's with TNA belt.
Mm.
And then the debates can ensue amongst everybody out here. But yeah, hey, I'm with you. I think John Cena's 16 and 1 because that run is just insane.
Mm.
He fought Randy Orton like every pay-per-view for 10 years, it felt like.
Yeah.
And he has all them ships. There was that's what I'm telling you. That period in wrestling was one of the worst. Not all time, but in my life, it was one of the worst. 2000, let's say 2005, 2006, right on to, because it wasn't even the PG era. It was like, it started dying out. After the Ruthless Aggression era, it really started dying out to me. I know probably a lot of people that watch the show or listen to the podcast are like, you're crazy. That's like their childhood, right? So they're just going to like it no matter what. But yeah, the Miz winning championships and the Rated R Superstar and that whole era stunk.
It was, for me, it was after Rob Van Dam got stripped of his title, after he got pulled over for weed. And he just had both belts, didn't he? He had the ECW belt and he just won the WWE belt. And he'd had it for maybe like 3 weeks. Him and Sabu were in the car, they got pulled over, they had drugs on him, and then that was it.
Weed.
Yeah.
Really?
I think Sabu might have had something a little bit stronger, but yeah, it wasn't like, oh my God, look at this, they're supplying the whole bloody Northern American bloody territory or anything like that. And then so they just got rid of Rob Van Dam and he didn't get that run anymore, and that left a stale taste in my mouth. Because Cena was just really plain by that point, and
I got to go back and watch most of it, though. I can't really say. I'm sure the JBL stuff and all that, but, you know, I was never a big Mysterio guy. Mysterio was huge around that time. Eddie Guerrero, I thought he was a great wrestler and all this, but I was never like, oh, my God, Latino heat. Like, this is why I'm buying a pay-per-view. Never with that, any of that. So, like I said, when you come off the Attitude Era in your prime of, like, kid years, basically, and then Cena comes around like the beginning with Angle and all this stuff, and Lesnar starting out, it was still like on fire. And then it just kind of like petered out a little bit. But I am back, all thanks to this guy, right? That was what did it. One of the first angles coming back that I started watching just here and there was CM Punk and Kevin Nash going back and forth about the hair dye, and that was great because you could tell they really didn't like each other. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. I remember when it was like this, you know?
Yeah, Punk. That's what got me to like pay attention to it again after Cena sort of like push so many people away.
Yeah, Cena did do that for a while.
I mean, I get it. They had a big star. They had their own like a modern version of Hulk Hogan. Could just do the American flag thing and say bloody prayers and take your vitamins and all that. It's just a modern version of it. So I understand it, but for everybody that wasn't like a 10-year-old or younger, it just got really boring really quickly.
Oh yeah.
And then as soon as Punk started like saying shit and we're like, oh, is that real? What it changed things again.
And then The Rock. Did you hear this? The Rock says Rhea Ripley is carrying the WWE. What? I read that headline, and I'm like, I'm not reading this. I'm just gonna go. You know, this sucks. She's carrying the. Remember when I did a story with the Sleaze on, like a month back or so, where The Rock was telling people that hey, you paid money to go to the movie theater, so if you want to sing, go ahead and sing in that movie theater along with the movie.
I missed that. No. You can.
So this kind of fits that statement, and this statement are like almost on the same, level to me. Because
Rock is just Jerichoing it. Everything that Jericho does in AEW, where there's a new talent or something fancy, something that's trending appears, Jericho manages to attach himself to it somehow. And The Rock is doing the same fucking thing. He's just a lot bigger, and he's just got a lot more sort of like weight behind him because he can use his current sort of like Hollywood status. But I don't think he's doing as well as he wishes he was. His last few films haven't like done anything amazing, have they? Or am I wrong with that?
Well, he's about to come out in Moana or whatever, right? Or is that already out? I don't know. I don't keep up with any of that stuff anyway.
Yeah, Disney crap just got a pre-installed audience, really. So many people will just buy it anyway. But I think he did a Christmas film that didn't do very well, and that took a while to come out. And there's all this talk of him having problems with between Ryan Reynolds and Vin Diesel and The Rock and Oprah with their charitable efforts, where they like didn't send the money, or no, they were pestering people for money, and then people turned around and were like, "You've got loads of money. Why don't you send some money?"
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, but a lot of people felt like giving both crap for that.
Yep.
So he came back to wrestling, tried to sort of like get that wrestling fan base that made him sort of like reinvigorate him, but then he upset him because he just tried to ruin some WrestleMania like booking, and then he's come back and he's trying to be a good sport about things, and it's just no, just fuck off, just done with you now. I'm sorry. I used to be the biggest Rock fan, but no.
It reeks of, like you said, just kind of wanting to be there around the next big thing, and it's just cringe. Everything's cringe because I think Rhea Ripley's cringe, and to circle back to what I was talking about earlier. It's not like the dumbing down so much that I know everything's being dumbed down. It's that like the cringe shit out here that people of our generation that were teenagers that were into like cool. Remember, you wanted to like cool things, right? But now it's almost like they've been preached to their whole life that anything you like can be cool, right? It's like, no, not really. There are some certain things that are just like that. Like Rhea Ripley coming out and being the shits on the mic is cringe. The kids like,
what do we want to talk about?
They like that. They're like, oh man, he's gonna come out and say, what do you want to talk about this week? This is gonna be awesome. It's just like, what?
Just because the part of it doesn't matter if it's good. You said something earlier about Vince. But yeah, to some people, any attention is good attention. And if people can come and take over the show by chanting along or singing Seth's song or doing Cody's "Whoa" or the Mexican wave or "You are racist" chants or the volleyball beach ball thing, they'll find something to do it. Or just standing there with the belts. Someone stood there on camera, front row, looking at the hard camera with a pretend "I've just bought this from the shop" belt. It's just like, you're not there to watch the show. You're there to try and be the show and to take from it. And we used to just like get 15 minutes of fame when like TV was like the main thing, but now everyone's got the ability to cast the television idea themselves. It's just people don't know how to turn it off. They don't know how to turn that mentality off, and it's just you can't enjoy stuff.
Oh my god, I'm just saying, Rhea Ripley, you're great. I know you make a lot of money for them and stuff like that. I'm just saying, with The Rock trying to get involved, saying you're like the hottest thing, the best thing. If TikTok went away, a lot of that heat, a lot of that money would have gone away too. And I'm sure that's a big part of the reason why, it was only gone for 16 hours, if that. It wasn't even a full day, right? Like, ridiculous.
It was enough to see who was addicted though, and who was having like withdrawal. That was an interesting little experiment. Just if anyone was paying attention to those that were like, oh, where's my TikTok gone?
Yeah. And I was thinking to myself, this is the greatest advertisement ever. Imagine if you were told to shut down your whatever for a little while, for a day, and you would now be talked about not only for the past couple of months and leading up into a crescendo, but now it's bad. It went away for so short, like right before Trump was going to get in, which everybody knew was going to turn it over. Again, I'm smelling the work. I smell works everywhere. I don't believe anybody. I don't believe any of this stuff. It's just too perfect. This worked too perfectly for TikTok at the end of the day. Them taking that time off got everybody talking about it. You know how many times I've seen that picture that it's over? That, you know, that I'm scrolling through Instagram, Twitter, didn't matter what I was on, and it's just everything was TikTok. And I'm like, wow, they just fucking knocked it out of the park with this one. That's how I think. You know, I don't use this brain on this show that much, right? If you've noticed, otherwise it'd be more than 40 fucking people in here. Get liking and subscribing. Share this. What the fuck am I doing? I'm giving you all, I'm dropping all these jewels in front of all the swine out here, right? Biblical terms. And the least you can do is hit a button. Thank you very much. Talking about scripted stories, but their works. I get all the works. I'm telling you, Danny, there's something up with. Go watch that salute by Elon a couple more thousand times, and you might, you know, because you repetition for emphasis and brainwashing and stuff. So,
yeah, I am amused at how now Trump sort of like saved the TikTok thing. So those who are having like withdrawals, who are usually like screaming and getting upset about Trump,
it's too perfect.
Now have to sort of like almost be thankful because he's saved their thing, their toy, and he can give them their fix again. I think that's funny. That's a bit poetic in my opinion. They'll forget it though, and it'll just be a case of what have you done for me lately, rather than what have you done for me in general. But they'll soon be screaming at him again and be like, "Oh, your face is too orange this week." Hitler used to drink water too. What a bastard.
Snoop Dogg, this guy making music videos, deleting Trump. He's making IG videos, you know, saying you guys are dumb motherfuckers and blah blah blah. It's just so. I'm telling. This is all so fake, dude. This is what I'm telling everybody. I don't believe any of this. It's a lot of pro wrestling going on out here. These people, they don't stand for nothing. Okay, none of them stand for anything. Even your favorites. Okay, just like when I talk about like the pro wrestling business, they are people too. You know, they're gonna go take a shit and it stinks. Just like everybody else, nobody's gonna be clean, especially in that world. And the people around them are even worse because they're the ones that get the people to do things that are the ones we think are bad. You understand? Like, I don't believe any of this.
Television cameras make people do terrible things. It's not just, it's on the other side as well. Did you see that Roseanne Barr song?
Oh, yeah. That, like the rap song.
That was painful. Yep. That was painful. So we've got, they're embarrassing people on either side of the aisle. That was rough. I mean, the guy that she was quote unquote singing with, he's had some questionable releases as well.
I'm telling you, they're all. I mean, it's all compartmentalized, but at the end of the day, the top people in they're just it's warring factions, warring criminal factions. That's all. Pick your
pantomime. It's pantomime. It's just like going to the theater.
Yeah,
or the stage over there. It's behind you, and
some of them may not like each other, right? But in general, nobody's gonna rat on anybody else. Not at that level. You know what happens at that level when you try to rat? You crazy? That house of cards that will fall. They won't let it fall. They will blow up the planet before they would throw each other under the bus.
You'll get invited for a nice little trip on a boat. That's what will probably happen.
Yeah.
And never be seen again.
Get Epsteined, right? Because we all know he definitely, that was just, was exactly what the official story said. Or YouTube TOS. Yep. I'm never going against that story or any story that you don't want me to go and talk about. I'm not going to touch on any of this YouTube or X. Sorry, Elon. I I'm just speculating, merely speculating, in my opinion, allegedly, that if it's up to me, bro, you wore the Baphomet warrior outfit to Halloween, took all your pictures, made it your Avi for almost a year or something, and you think that I don't think that you're up to something? I think you're up to something. You see?
Maybe you just really like the Tenacious D video. Maybe you just really like that Tenacious D devil.
Well, there's a lot of coincidences. There's like, a lot of coincidences.
Could be. Could be.
Well, thank you for coming on, Danny. We've said it all about just about everything. I even have more notes I can save for Saturday. Cool. We got Saturday night main event this Saturday night as well. My goodness. Before we go off, how about this story? The Alley Cat injury. She got messed up, bro. I believe that's how you say it. That's not how you spell it, Alley Cat, but it's Alley Cat. I remember her from Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling. Me and the Sleeves were actually watching it one night in the chat, and we're pumping it up, and we're like, "Oh man, yeah, look at this Alley Cat," and this and that. And people are like, "Oh, she's got a boyfriend." And they're like, "Whoa!" And because he's a wrestler there too. So
I didn't see this. What did she do?
She's in TNA or wrestled, maybe not TNA, a GCW pay-per-view they had recently or something like that. Always at the Hammerstein. They keep mentioning that lately. But she snapped her leg was just like totally fucked.
Sid Vicious style?
Yeah, it was bad.
Like that, right?
It was just like it was over here, like it looked all funky. On X2, it gave a sensitivity preview.
Right.
So you had to like click through it. I did because I'm the man.
I'll have a look for it later.
Yeah, go check it out. So get well, Alley Cat. It was a gruesome injury like the Ray Phoenix with the arm deal.
Yeah, that was nasty. So who did the 450 off the ropes through 2 tables and just landed? Oh, who the hell was that? It was one of the young lads in AEW.
Oh yeah, they had some bad ones, dude.
The 2 brothers, I think.
The Daddy Ass's kids?
No. No, I can't remember. But yeah, it was a 450 off the top rope through 2 tables, and I think they did like a 450 or a Spanish fly or something, and just the way he jumped, it's like that was never going to end well, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that still looks disorientating.
I love the crowd in the background in this picture. KO's face, you can barely see it. He's squinting, and I hope I don't kill him. Yeah.
Did you? We haven't covered. I haven't mentioned it. I haven't spoken about. Did you see the Kevin Kelly comments about Tony Khan?
No. Oh, what did he say about?
I don't know how long the saga went, but I saw a tweet where Kevin Kelly was just saying, "Look, I wanted to get into like wrestling and be a commentator, but instead I get some billionaire son, a stuttering billionaire son, trying to tell me stuff over the headset, and then when he gets stuff wrong, he apologizes to me and tells me I'm great, but then just makes me do it all again or something like that." You'll have to look to get the full quote, but the general vibe is that he wasn't happy with Tony Khan micromanaging, and it sounded to me very similar to what people would say Vince was guilty of. So it's just another instance of the grass isn't really greener, and Tony isn't as dissimilar to Vince as he thinks he is. But it's a shame because I like Kevin Kelly. I thought he was good at his job.
Yeah, he's always good. Didn't Khan fire somebody or suspend somebody for talking badly about AEW recently? I think it was like in another promotion, but it was with AEW involved. Yeah, it was some story out there. I didn't look into it too much, but I'm like, well, I can totally see that, I wouldn't be too happy if I had somebody like on my airwaves talking shit about me, right, in my company, So I mean, I get it, but at the same time, again, you gotta have thicker skin out here with all this stuff, and hurting people's jobs is not necessarily the way to go. No. Doesn't make you look great in the end. But we killed it. Oh man, we got stuff to talk about. this Saturday. Yeah, you'll be appearing, of course, Danny Damage, the Sleaze, Young Reezy. I could get a bunch of people on. Who knows? Maybe I'll have 10 people, like one of these lady podcasts. We'll all talk over each other. It'll be great. Get liking and subscribing, everybody, right now. I know you've been sitting there listening to me say this all the time and you've never done it. Well, this could be your first time ever. Show that you're a brother, dude. Press those buttons. I could be live tomorrow night at 7, Thursday. Definitely, I plan on Friday before SmackDown. But like I've been telling everybody lately, I am not burning myself out for nothing, okay? Unless I'm getting the big Pat McAfee money over here to do a better gimmick than he does, stealing my what gimmicks and things. That was all me, Pat McAfee. The toys everywhere. You know who did that before you? That's right, Dr. Huge, the innovator of quality comedy podcast wrestling. And, you know, I just told you everything about real life stuff with Trump and Nazi salutes. And, yeah, we covered it all. I think we did it. Maybe next time the pyramids and much more. So definitely share and put this out to the world. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for coming on so late over in the UK.
No
That's
problem.
how
Thank you. Oh, lost you for a second then. Just at
I'm
the
back.
end.
Remember, it does this once a show. That was the
Oh,
one.
yeah, that was you. I thought that was me.
No, it was me, of course. Yep. So all hail. What are you saying? All hail Pat. Oh my God, Philly Sports Pride. If you were on my screen right now, I would kick you off the show so fast your head would fucking spin. Don't ever say that again in my chat, or you're blocked. I will block. I'm blocking everybody that likes. Don't. The Rock should be president. That's a blockable offense, Sleaze. I'll let it slide because I know you, but don't let it happen again. And yeah, that does it. Go buy my album. Go follow me all over the planet. I mean, what am I up to? 15 TikTok followers. We're fucking killing it, bro. We're doing it. Come follow us over there, and we're gonna have so much fun. Follow Danny, of course, too.
DannyDamage.co.uk. All my links are on there. So rather than just listing them off now.
He does all kinds of stuff. All right. Go check it out. And we'll talk to you all later this week.
Titillate the juices. You know what? Woo! Right now. Woo! Woo!
Dr. Hughes invites followers. Oh, let's see if they increase now. Me too. Yeah, wow. Dr. Hughes.
Mock ass mock.
He's a great podcaster.
Trick ass mock.
Acknowledge me.
We got it for you, nigga. Fat! Yeah, Dr. Hughes, here we go. Keep plugging yourself, that's cool.
First up, a man whose looks will serve your inner needs and desires.
Dr. Hughes.
What do we want to talk about?